Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. I want to talk to you today, and it may not be for everybody, but it may be for some people, and hopefully it'll be very helpful to you. And it's not a feel good. It's not one of those things that's it may be able to help you, it may be able to encourage you, but it's not one of those that's going to be like hooray, hurrah, it's going to be easy and it's going to feel good. It's not going to feel good if you do what I talk to you about, or if what I talk to you about is going to help you. So you ready? Here it is. When you're going through health issues, especially like if it's in a severe place, because sometimes we have severe places, right? It can really rock your world. It can rock your finances. It can throw your whole family off, and you're trying to just basically stay above water, right? And not let this thing drown you or take you out, right? And so it takes everything you have to do that, okay? The thing is that even though you're putting everything that you have into staying above ground, there is a time now, you're going to have to make the decision for yourself, and you're going to have to discern your windows and discern your times of opportunity, okay? Because you can do something at the wrong time and it could take you out. That's really important to know that. If you do something at the wrong time, it could take you out, your family out, and you don't want to do that. But there are times, and you have to be able to discern it. You have to be able to know when those times are, when you will have to do certain things. Now you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, I'm going to get to that. So while you're going through everything, okay, you're going to have to be able to figure out how to get your finances together, how to bust out, how to break out, how to take your family to another level, because you don't want to stay on that level just trying to survive. Sometimes when you're doing that, it's going to mean that you're going to have to do things that's going to require a push. Now you're already pushing. You're pushing on all ends. You're giving it everything you got just to fight this thing, to stay above water, to not let this thing take you out. But it's going to require another push in the push, okay? I know that sounds like a lot, right? I've been there so many times, and it's not a fun thing to do, and you wonder, how can I push within the push? There's no way. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. We're hectic trying to find balance and all of this. How can I give a push within the push? You're going to have to find it out. You're going to have to figure it out. You got to find the push within yourself and figure out how to make it. I can't really tell you how to make it. Every situation is different. Everybody's life is different. So let me give you an example of how one of the times we've gone through it, so you can know exactly what I'm talking about and picture it. I was going through a really bad time. It was touch and go, okay? I was completely bedridden. I was in pain 24/7. I was struggling to breathe, and at times I would stop breathing. We ended up having to move close to the medical center so that I can have quick access to the hospital, because I was going to the hospital that much. I was actually in the hospital more than I was outside of the hospital, and it did not look good at all. I was alive. Doctors didn't know how I was alive, but they expected me to leave at any moment, and it was like that for a long period of time. And my husband had to sit and watch me, because I would stop breathing, and he would have to do what he had to do, trust God and bring me back, right? And so it was a really bad time. We had left our home. We didn't know where we were going to stay. We were in a hotel for a while. We finally moved into an apartment. We left the house. We moved into an apartment right next to the hospital. And it was hard for my husband to do the things that he needed to do. He had found ways to make money so he could still be by my side, but I was still the number one priority. And we had a lot of little babies, okay? And it was a real bad situation. We needed to get out of that bad situation. We needed to get out of that place of where finances were a struggle, where everything in life was a struggle, and my family needed to keep progressing. I was really aware of that. We didn't know how we were going to be able to do that because everything was so tight. It was touch and go, and we really didn't have any room to maneuver. You know, we had been taking trips to get medical help and paying, you know, walking through the door, paying up front thousands of dollars. It was a lot that we had been doing, and so but we needed to break out of that. We had gotten to a really bad place, a low in life, not just low physically, but financially, and in every area, you know, emotionally, every area you can think of, we were at a really low place, right? And we had these 5 babies, and we needed to get out of it. So I looked at my husband and I told him, you need to go back to school and you need to get your license. He was licensed in something, but we needed him to get his broker's license. So he was like, I can't do that right now. I got all these babies, right? We got babies in diapers. We had toddlers, right? I got a wife that I'm fighting to keep her alive. You know, I'm barely getting everything, holding it all together. I have no time, no room, and no energy for school. But I told him, no, you need to go to school because we need to break out of this, right? He was a real estate agent. He wasn't really practicing as much. He was specific in the people that he was helping. He was doing something else on the side that allowed him to stay with me to make money. And I told him, you need to get your broker's license because the deals that you are doing, we don't need you to split the commission. We need that money. And we can get people to work for us. And he did not see how he could do it. And he was really angry with me. And he was like, how can we do that when we're in this crisis mode? But I was certain that we don't know how long this crisis mode is going to last. We've been in it for a while. I know I'm coming out of it, but I don't know when. And we don't know how long this health issue is going to last, right? I know I'm coming out of it, but I don't know when. So we can't put off living and have our life be put on hold, waiting for that day to come. We've already been in this thing for a while. It may be here a little while longer, but we need to keep moving forward in the meantime. And we need to get out of this low level living and this low place and break out of that so we can have the finances and the means to do the things that we need to do, or just to have the peace of mind to knowing that the provision is there so that you can focus in on taking care of me and release some of that stress. So we argued about that thing, and you guys, I went ahead and signed him up for school. I did all the paperwork. I did everything that he needed to get the VA money to come in, and I just did everything so that he can go to school, and I signed him up for classes. He went to the classes. He did it kicking and screaming. Some classes he went to, I don't think he did any online. He might have did some online, but he did it kicking and screaming, and I stayed on him all the time. Do your homework. Don't just sit here looking at me. You're going to sit here looking at me. Get your books out. Do your homework. So he ended up getting his broker's license, and that was a major breakthrough for our family. So that's an example of how sometimes in the middle of all that you're going through, you're pushing with everything you got to give yourself another push so that you can get out, right? So we ended up staying in that apartment for a year and a half. We moved back into, we got another house, and from there we did that for a couple years. From there we upgraded, and then we upgraded again, and we are where we are now. So there are times, you guys, where you have to, we talk about moving from struggling to survive to thriving, but there are times where you're going to have to do some things that may not make sense to anybody, that may put more strain on you, that you don't feel like you can handle more stress, more strain. But sometimes you have to do some things to break out in the middle of what you're going through. And it's going to require everything in you. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to look pretty. It's going to be real weighty. But it can help your family to break out, to go to another level. Sometimes you need to go through the hard stuff to get yourself to a better place, a better level. Now, he did all of that. He went through all of that. It was really hard, and there was a lot of 911. You guys, I spent 6 months in the hospital while he was going through all of that. It was a lot that he was balancing, and that was going on. But when he does a deal now, we get 100% of that money. That actually helped us to break out. It actually helped me to get some of the things that I needed medically, some of the things that I needed for my body, some tools that we needed. It helped ease some things so that he can have release. It was hard. It was not easy. Some things are not going to be easy. Now, back to that warning I gave you earlier, right? You have to know when it's okay for you to do that stuff, right? If he would have went to school at other times when our family wasn't ready for it, it could have took us out. The time that he went to school, it looked like a time that we weren't ready for it, but there was a window, there was an opening, and I was able to discern that. You're going to have to be able to know when it's good for you to make some moves, but there are times where you're going to have to do things when you don't think it's the right time to do it, to get the breakthrough that you need to take yourself and your family to another level. I hope something in there was helpful for you, that you can understand that what I was talking about, once again, is it might not be for everybody, okay? It might not be for everybody, but if it is for you, be encouraged and know that you can make it through whatever it is that you're going to do. If you embark upon something and you realize that this is too much, you thought it was the right time, but it was the wrong time, there is nothing wrong with changing your mind and backing up, right? And saying, not now, maybe later. We've done that a lot where we said, oops, you know what? I tried this, might not be a good time. Let's roll back. And we'll keep trying at it until we find that right place, that right time, how to better navigate through those things. I hope something in there was helpful for you. Remember, in all things, do you. Until next time, bye.